And we are live. We've done 3 shows on the bounce for the people who are watching. We've been flying NFL crazy, and hopefully we can back all that research we've done on these other shows to land some big bets this weekend. Bish, how are you? How are you feeling about your betting? And take us through what your thoughts are.
I'm good. I think I'm feeling like a professional YouTuber at the minute. It seems to be we're smashing it out, aren't we? So we're getting the content out there. But yeah, it's interesting week last week. I only nailed 1 out of 3, but it was profit. So I scratched a tenth off a unit. So now if you're using £1 stakes, I'm only 90p down. So 0.9 of a unit down at the minute. But yeah, we landed the big one. Broncos plus 3.5. Cortland Sutton on the overs, and those that were brave and added the touchdown, well, you had a field day there, so it would have been a nice hat trick for you. So yeah, we didn't quite get the touchdown treble, but tags back with another one, trying to get that one. Now did you get on, Joe?
I did all right, Bish, but yeah, still not happy. I land my doubles and I land some of them, but I just can't get that 3 out of 3, that coveted 3 out of 3 that you've hit. So I think in general, I'm playing a bit safer this week. I've got some sad news. I'm not doing a bet 365 treble. I'm doing a bet 365 bet boost double. Playing a bit safer, only one. But I think I'm just I want to get that 3 out of 3 on the board and say I've hit it at least once this year. It's been a tough year, to be honest. I follow quite a few people on NFL. There's not many who are up by a lot, and most people I know are pretty down. Bish, I think to do what you're doing and being pretty much equals a success with how random and at points disappointing this season's been. It's not been the best of years. There's a couple of teams at the top, but other than that, there's a lot of mediocrity, and that just makes betting that bit harder. And with all the QBs getting injured as well, definitely doesn't help any continuation or stat building as the season's gone on, because most teams, from what they started on week 1, just look not completely different, but look a lot different, have a lot of changes, a lot of injuries, some additions. And it's just made the whole process tough. For not making too many excuses, I've not been good enough. But I'm going for 3 out of 3 this week to at least hopefully do it once this year, Bish.
Yeah, nice. It has been tough, like you said. I got off to a poor start, and it seems like I've been trying to tread water and try and get on top of it ever since. So again, for the last sort of 3-4 weeks, we've nearly been there, but we've not quite been there. So we go again. We're here, business end of the year. Like you said, teams are, I think now you start to see a difference in teams that are playing for something and teams that aren't. Injuries don't help. We've got a lot this week as well. So, and a few games scattered about, TV games now, 3 games on a Saturday, Sunday, Christmas games are coming thick and fast. So we keep going, Joe. We keep going.
We do. But Bish, I believe, take us into it. We're having a big week. We've both said it now. Take us into it. What is your first bet of the week 14? I believe.
Week 15.
Week 15. That's how my head is. Sorry.
That's
really embarrassing. I've completely week 15. Let's go. We're landing 3 out of 3, but not in my words.
Yeah, my bet one. It's again, I'm sticking with the Lions running backs. We're gonna nail it. It's David Montgomery over 64.5 rushing yards, along with Jamar Gibbs over 50.5 rushing yards. So last week, we didn't quite nail it. I went for Gibbs. It was Montgomery. This week, I'm just sticking them both together. So they're coming up against the Broncos, who are ranked last against the run. They give up 144 yards on the ground. It's a shame we haven't got tag on this one, because he might not like this one. But David Montgomery is the starting back. He is the north-south back. He's the early down back when the sort of they're in the lead and trying to cement that lead as well. And he's hit this line on 80% of his games. The 2 that he didn't hit, one he got injured early and left the game, and one he had 18 carries and somehow didn't manage to get it. Just wasn't efficient on the day, but it definitely weren't through the lack of touches. And on the other hand, we've got Jahmyr Gibbs, and we've spoke about him before, the explosive back. He gets less touches, but the generally big touches. In his last 5 games, his longest rush, 3 of these have been over 35 yards. So, he's very explosive. He gets the ball. He's going, he could go the distance here and sort of eat up that 50 and a half yard line pretty easy. The last 5, as I've just said, he's averaged 10 carries a game, and he's covered this line in 4 out of 5 of those games. So against a team, as we've just said, the Denver Broncos, who aren't very good against the run, in a game where I think they'll get back to running the ball to sort of give Goff build a bit of confidence, try and build a lead. I think this is a good matchup for the running game of the Detroit Lions. So we've got David Montgomery over 64.5 rushing yards and Jahmyr Gibbs over 50.5 rushing yards.
What can I say about this, Bish? I've got something coming up that might not go against it, but it's a different angle on this game. It's going to be an interesting one. I think it's a game with lots of playoff implications. Can Detroit do it and carry on and not be technically fraud checked, as Twitter has said from the last week or two? And then obviously, as Tag was in our shows, I think this will go out first. We've got Tag coming on some shows later, and he says he thinks the Broncos can make the playoffs here, but they'll need to do it by beating Detroit this week. So yeah, I think there'll be a fair amount of points here, Bish. I think it'll be an interesting game. And like you said, the stats suggest the running backs for Detroit should perform, and if for Detroit to win, I think they have to perform because PS3 and the gang are quite good at guarding the receivers and tight ends, but the running backs where Detroit gets scored against. So hopefully, Detroit do well and you get the points here, Bish.
I hope so.
I've got one that I don't know if it contradicts Bish. My first bet. I've got a double. I've got 2 teams and their handicaps. I've got the double of New York Giants +6 versus the New Orleans Saints, and the Denver Broncos +4.5. Again, these handicaps, it's not saying I think Denver are going to win. That's why I said it probably doesn't completely disagree with you. I don't think Denver can necessarily win. I think it'll be a close game. Running backs normally mean lower scoring games unless they just completely run riots because the clock doesn't stop. Denver, a very good clock managing team. I think that's where Russ and Javonte Williams have really found that mesh together, that balance between running the ball and Russ playing safe. And I think it's all about clock management, playing out and playing smart. So I think that game will be close. Unless the Detroit really get it going again and prove everyone we just had one bad week. Both of these teams are gunning to win. I think it's going to be a shoot-off, and I think a field goal at most will decide this one. So I saw that line of 4.5. I went, you know what, I'm willing to have a gamble at that. And then I think the bet of the week is definitely the New York Giants +6 against the New Orleans Saints. As I spoke about on, again, some of the other shows, I'll keep giving it a shout-out. We've spent hours doing these other shows. I don't believe in the New Orleans Saints. I think they're a massive disappointment. Tommy DeVito is not the real deal, but he could be close. The Italian, who knows his connection to the mafia? No one knows. No one wants to find out. If you look at his agent, it's probably closer than we all think. It's an interesting one. He's made all the headlines, but he's been playing some brilliant football. All the Italian fun handshaking, his agent looking like bloody Don DeVito in the 1950s. It don't matter. He's playing brilliant football. The Giants have somehow got it going. Saquon's been playing unbelievable. I think he's been one of the unheralded players in the Giants team, and the defense have finally got it together since their bye week. They're playing good defense, and I think that's what's helping them win these close games and obviously at least have even close games. So I think them against the Saints is a brilliant bet. Obviously, just come off beating the Packers and the Patriots. The Saints haven't done anything to convince me recently, and they've got a load of injuries in the wide receiver room. I think the Saints are going to struggle. Even if the Saints win +6 is a great gamble, and I think I'm all over that one. So I put them both together. Hopefully, a fairly safe one, and I get you a nice double win, and obviously more interest in watching the in the red zone when you've got two teams you're gunning for.
Yeah, Tommy DeVito is a sensation, and he's there. And you know, the Giants, they had a tough start to the season, but like you said there, they have got a not bad defense, you know, and a big win for him against the Packers, and he's proved the last two games he's got a bit about him. You know, Saquon Barkley's helping out obviously as well. So yeah, it's not a bad shout. And you know, I've spoke about Derek Carr on the season review show. That'll come out soon, but I'm not convinced, if I'm honest. You know, it seems he's playing injured quite a bit. Whether that's forced or he's just trying to keep his job, I'm not sure. But yeah, they don't look that great. But they do have still the division to play for, all tied up. So they will be competitive. I expect it will be a close game, but with a +6, with a wave of momentum that those Giants are riding, yeah, why not? And the Broncos, yeah, we've said we're starting to like the Broncos. I think this will be a close game. It's for me, Detroit with my bet sort of leans into this. It's a bit of a reset game for them, I think, where they'll need to run the ball because Goff against this secondary of the Broncos, I think, is a mismatch. So yeah, I think it'll be a tight game script dependent. +4.5. Yeah, I like it, Joe. I like it. It's a good start.
Yeah, that's the most convincing you. I think about 4 or 5 weeks ago, you give me I'm going to put that on myself. I've had that once in history, and I got close there. I thought I was dabbling with that there with how confident you sound. I didn't quite get the nod of Bish is putting it in.
I'm still not quite sure on the Giants, but yeah, with the momentum they've got, I don't see why not.
It's worth a go, in it. Yeah, Bish, take us through your second bet.
My second bet is the Falcons -3, and it's simple here. I'm just betting against the Panthers. You know, they're coming up against the Panthers. They're 1-12. They have the number one pick in Bryce Young, but it's just a really bad offense. They've managed 2 touchdowns in the last 5 games. They've managed 2 touchdowns in one game in the last 5 games. They average 1 touchdown a game. They average 10 points a game as well. So that's just 1 touchdown. Bryce Young has actually only thrown 1 touchdown in the last 3. So all the touchdowns are coming rushing the ball. But the offense just aren't providing anything. They turn it over, make it hard for the defense, and they just get overrunning games really. And the Falcons, probably the first time I've watched the Falcons last week, and it's funnily enough they actually lost, but it's actually the first time I watched them and thought, oh, this offense has got a bit about it. You know, they're currently sat 6-7, won the last 2 out of 3. Said just got beat last week, but they're definitely in the shout for the running for the NFC South. It's a poor division, 3 teams on 6 and 7, but it's all to play for. But just from what I saw last week, I just think, Ridder went off, just short of 350 passing yards with 2 touchdowns, 1 passing, 1 running. Bijan had a touchdown and 80+ yards. Drake London, 172 yards on 10 catches. And we saw Kyle Pitts get a touchdown as well. And I just think that, along with the stout defense that they've got, that will turn the ball over from the Panthers, I believe. I just think they've got too much firepower to not win this game by at least a touchdown, I think, here. So, at the -3, I think I'm probably playing it safe, if I'm honest, but, I'll take the -3 here.
I like it, yeah. Falcons, they got Kyle Pitts going, they got Drake London going. They played some good football. As I laughed, didn't I, on the review show on Monday, saying, I bet Arthur Smith's not happy, and because he's actually played exciting football and lost.
Yeah.
I think it's Carolina absolutely suck. They've got loads to do. They look like they're ready for the off season already. I think they know what the crack is. So I think Falcons have still got something to play for, and they'll be looking to just get things that sharp for the last 2-3 games on that playoff potential run. But be tough. But they'll need to beat Carolina comfortably to make it. I've got one, Bish, but I've just seen the news that he might be actually playing, and this bet was on the back of him. This one player that I'll mention not playing. It's But I had the Cincinnati Bengals money line versus the Minnesota Vikings and the score to be under 40 points. But Justin Jefferson is meant to actually be playing this weekend. So it might change it a little bit. But you know what? I'm a man of my word. I'm going to stick to the bet. Vikings' offense mightily struggled the last couple of weeks. Josh Dobbs has fell from a mountaintop higher than we all conquered. Higher than he was in space, the astronaut, and he's just collapsed down. He's now obviously been dropped officially, which is a sad one. But I just can't see. I don't see Minnesota offense doing that well. Maybe with Justin Jefferson actually playing, it might make a difference, and they might get the points required to hit over the 40, which is my worry. But the Bengals, they've been playing good. They've been playing really good. I think Jamar Chase said he's the best wide receiver in the league, and it's not. Well, he didn't say it's not close. He just said it's not me and him, it's me. And he got quoted that I think it was today, actually, earlier on today, and against Justin Jefferson, and I think he is out to prove a point. The Minnesota Vikings defense is okay, so I thought, you know what, I don't think there'll be many points. They've just come off an absolute stinker, only scoring 3 points. Their offense is going to struggle. The Bengals have actually had some high scoring points, but against defenses that I've not been convinced about. I know Pittsburgh Steelers saying that's a tough one, but I've not been convinced about Pittsburgh for a while. They've got obviously TJ Watt, but he's about the only bright spark this year. And I just think I just couldn't see a high scoring game off the back of the last one. Bengals will pull it off. Jake Browning's been better than anyone thought, and people are questioning Joe Burrow. They're one of my shocks of the year that they're still doing so well. So the 40 points I'm personally a bit nervous about, but I think the Bengals will pull this one off on a Minnesota Vikings team that's struggling week in, week out in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, they are struggling, like you said, and Nick Dobbs goes out, Nick Mullins comes in and gets the start this week. So, and one I'm probably having to hold my hands up on is I've slated the Vikings defense for a year, pretty much in it. A year I've slated them, but you know they are pretty good actually. You know they've turned the corner massively. They're keeping games tight, which they're going to need to do. Against Browning, who's looked very good in the 3 starts that he's had. I believe it's 3 starts. Definitely the last 2, he's definitely lit it up. So I would lean the Bengals here. You know that everyone wrote them off when Joe Burrow went out, but they are that AFC. They are sneaky outsiders for one of those playoff spots if they can put a run together here. The only thing is I'm very reluctant on unders, but I was last week and I went against it last week and that came in for you. So I'm going to stick to that same philosophy, I think.
Like you said, the Vikings have been getting better. They sucked earlier on. The defense is getting better. Last week, obviously, only 3 points in the whole game. Made Raiders score 0. That's the more important fact. Against the Bears, the Bears only scored 12. The Vikings only scored 10. The Broncos, they got over this mark, but it was by 1 point, 21-20. And I think Nick Mullins isn't the dude. Josh Dobbs, I did like, but for some reason, he's just last 2 weeks just fell off an absolute cliff. I think the Bengals pull this one over. It will be probably around that 40-point mark, and let's hope for my bets it just under Bish, and I get the double on this one.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, and this is a Saturday game as well for bettors out there, so it's a day early. This one, don't miss it.
Why is that again, Bish? I should know, but you'll.
I'm not sure. I just think towards the back end of the season, they sort of try and get as many games on TV. So there's actually a triple header on Saturday, starting at I believe 6 o'clock UK time. I think there's a 6 o'clock game around 9 o'clock, and then again the late slate, which is I think the around 1 o'clock-ish. So yeah, just lots of games on TV, which is obviously great for us. We get to watch it. So yeah, but just keep an eye on the kickoffs.
Yeah. Bish, take us through your next bet.
Bet 3 is the Rams over 27.5 team points and Matthew Stafford over 1.5 passing touchdowns. And this is a homer bet. I'm very excited about the Rams at the minute. You know, they're very hot off the bye. 3 out of 4 wins. Just lost last week in overtime against the Ravens, but went blow for blow with a very, very good Lamar-led Ravens team. And sort of the last 3 points, the Rams have scored 31 points at least, up to 37. So they are very hot. Matthew Stafford in those 3 games has thrown for 10 passing touchdowns, 4.33 per game. So he's comfortably over this 1.5 passing mark. And I think for me, I've spoke about it. It coincides with Kyron Williams coming back. It opens up everything for the Rams offense. They're running the ball. They have to account for him. Then Stafford can play the play action, and the wide receivers, Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, and even Demarcus Robinson, are finding themselves in plenty of space and picking up those touchdowns. So it works well. Coming up against a Commanders team who, they traded away the best defensive players. Well, some of the best defensive players, definitely the pass rushers earlier on in the season, just before the trade deadline, which to me sort of waved the white flag on the season. That they had a go, but the last 4 they've lost and they've been beat quite heavily. All 4 have been over this 27.5 point mark. The last 2 have actually been by 45 points. The team have racked up. So they're conceding points, at a very fast pace. They're currently 4-9, as I've just mentioned. Season over. They can't make the playoffs realistically, and I just see this game quite possibly being one-way traffic. And the way the Rams are playing at the minute, I think they can really light them up this game.
Yeah, I think the one comment I do have is that probably, which backs you up, is that I think the Commanders' offense somehow has been pretty good, which means they probably won't just slow it down with pure running back work. Rams, if they go ahead super early, hopefully Howell can make it competitive and make the Rams really earn them points. And obviously, the more competitive Commanders are on the offensive side, the more competitive the Rams will be on the offensive side. Defensive wise, I still can't work out them trades, Bish. I've been trying to wrap my head around it. I've been trying to read stuff on it. I don't see a good enough reason why they traded them players the way the defense was bad, and it's just got 10 times worse. They're just you can walk through them. The QBs have got so much time. I don't understand that one. It's not like they can go draft 1 or 2 and then be that right there. I don't see it. I think you should have paid, especially Chase Young. He's still learning. He's not had loads of help. They've been on a losing team. Get him some players on that defensive side. Get him some safeties to help out in that running game, and we might see something. Otherwise, I can't work out what the Commanders' game plan is. I think they've just put that rebuild a year or 2 behind even further. And the Rams, I like this one, Bish.
Cheers, yeah, and I agree what you're saying there. I think Sweat. I can't. His first name's passing me by. It's either What's that? Sorry.
Montez.
Yeah, that's it, Montez. I couldn't remember if it was Montez or Josh, but yeah, Montez Sweat. He had a little dig at the Commanders, I think, last week as well. The Bears won, and he sort of said Matt Eberflus is holding it together well here, unlike the last organisation. So there might be something going on behind the scenes there, which sort of, in a team that's underperforming, some had sort of aspirations of them at least pushing the Cowboys and the Eagles in games this year. So yeah, but I'm liking the Rams. The Rams are hot, and I'm jumping on the bandwagon.
I like it, yeah. My last bet's the Bet365 Bet Boost. Still waiting for that sponsorship, of course, but I'm not giving you a treble. I'm giving you a double. It's a double that I couldn't believe existed. I'll just get the exact odds on it. This is 11-2. And I thought, well, that's just a bet I'd take any day of the week. It's Christian McCaffrey, 150 plus rushing and receiving yards, plus Christian McCaffrey to score 2 or more touchdowns. Last week against the Seahawks was his only second time on the year not getting a touchdown. Every other part of the year he's got at least one. Multiple times has he scored more than one and got 2 or more. And I'll just bring you to week 4. When they played the Arizona Cardinals earlier on this year. And in that game, Christian McCaffrey had 106 rushing yards and 3 rushing touchdowns. Also had 71 receiving yards and a receiving touchdown. So he had 4 touchdowns, and I'm not saying it's the exact same team, but I actually like this bet more for the reason that Kyler Murray is back and playing quite well. And it will make them more competitive, as we mentioned with your bet there, Bish. I think sometimes when the other offense is having a go, it requires Christian McCaffrey to be on that pitch longer. They won't rest him as much. They need to guarantee that win. I think 150 rushing and receiving yards, it'd be easy for him. It'd be very easy for him. He's going to go and kill it. And he's done it before and he's going to do it again. 2 or more touchdowns is obviously where the odds stack up, but got 4 the last time they played. I think it's going to be a comfortable bet builder, this one. And we'll see McCaffrey run riot against the Cardinals, who aren't the best at stopping the run or the running back receiver.
Yeah, big game against him last week, and last time they played him, and last week as well. His first carry was 70 plus yards, and it was one of the games where he didn't have a touchdown because he just got caught short, and then Jordan Mason nicked it. So hopefully this week he can get all the way to that end zone. But yeah, he's definitely going to get his touches. Like you said, if the Cardinals can at least keep with them and keep McCaffrey in the game, that'd be nice for him to at least play out the full game rather than maybe getting the job done and being looked after. So, but yeah, if anyone can do it, it's definitely Christian McCaffrey. He's having a great year, so let's cheer him on.
Brilliant. Bish, take us through Tag's touchdown treble.
So Tag's touchdown treble for week 15 is Travis Kelce of the Chiefs, Chris Olave of the Saints, and Josh Allen of the Buffalo Bills. And I'm liking this. We don't currently have a price on it. We will get that up for you on the weekend on the socials. But when Tag's 2 hits, I believe, have included quarterback touchdowns. So, he's had 2 big winners. He had a 23-1 and a 17-1 last year, and they both had touchdown scorers in them. So, I'm liking this. Travis Kelce, big game. It's a big game, innit? He's got 2 from the same game there. Looking forward to that one unfolding. And Chris Olave, the main man for the Saints, so they'll be needing him. So yeah, what do you think, Joe, to this?
Like you said, it's 2/3 of them are all on that Kansas City Buffalo game. It should be a great game for us all to watch. All eyes on that, really. Like you said, Chris Olave shot in that. Someone needs to make some receptions on that Saints team. Someone needs to get a touchdown. I'm hoping there's not many other than Chris Olave, but if we get Chris Olave in, we're more than happy. And then what an exciting game that will be, where both of these players will have to stand up if they have any chance of winning. Both normally, traditionally do. So you've got a good shot there. And I think the Chris Olave one makes me a bit nervous. The other 2, I think, what a game, and we'll both see them get them touchdowns, I believe. So hopefully Chris Olave catches the ball in the end zone. And let's cheer that one in.
Bring on the first one of the year.
Yeah, let's go. Come on, Tag. Bish, take us finish it. Yeah, take us through the ending, and hopefully we have a great week. I'm excited. 3 safe bets there from you. 3 fairly safe normally from me, but let's have it and let's have a good week.
Yeah, good luck with all your bets out there. Any that you want to put out there, please comment underneath or on the socials, and we'll see how you're getting on this week as well. But please subscribe to the channel. We've got plenty of content coming out in the next few days, couple of weeks. We're always 2 shows a week, so we've got the fantasy that's heating up, and obviously we've got the bets as well till the end of the season. So please like the videos, pass on, and we'll see you very soon.
See you soon, Bish. Good luck on Saturday and Sunday. Let's have it.
Let's go.